Hello YouTube, my name is Brandon, and I'm going to be telling you my coming out story. I was basically always gay. I was born gay, just like every other person that's born gay or lesbian. And it took a time for me to realize that I was gay. I started realizing it in 7th grade, and I lived in Georgia at the time. So people around me were more, I guess, homophobic, so they kind of affected my view on gays completely until I grew up a little more and started noticing myself more as an independent person and compared to as a crowd. So I used to do the same things that almost every single person did in middle school. I made fun of gays, I said things were gay, I did all the things that whenever I look back on it now were pretty bad. But I've moved past that stage, and I think things are a lot better with my whole view on gays thing since, Anyway, I moved to Texas at the beginning of high school, actually in 8th grade. I joined band camp, and I was always in band since 6th grade, so I decided to join band camp. And this is when I started thinking, okay, I'm in a new state, Texas. I can do whatever, I can think about myself in a completely different way, instead of worrying about what other people were thinking of me. So, since I moved, I decided to start expressing my actual feelings. Before, in Georgia, I wouldn't express my feelings at all, and I was actually pushing them away. I started telling people on New Year's of 2011. It was one of my band friends. I really liked him. I had a crush on him for a couple months. And when New Year's came around, I was saying my New Year's resolution is going to be to tell everybody, or to tell as many people as I can, come out, to admit to myself that I'm gay and I'm okay with it. So, on Xbox, I took my controller and typed up a message including numbers and letters all jumbled up, and then secretly, and only in caps, I would put I'm gay. So the person that I sent the message to would have to read through the whole thing and try to decipher it. It wasn't that hard at all. Probably a kindergartner could do it, but it was still an easier way for me to tell them without actually having to say the words with my mouth. So I told them on New Year's, and I got some pretty cool responses. One was just, I told 2 people. One guy just laughed and he thought it was a joke. After I went more into it, he said it was okay, and later on we still hang out. Well, we still used to hang out a lot. I moved back to Georgia, so of course I can't hang out with people in Texas anymore. But the other person that I told had a mom who owns a salon, so he was used to seeing like how gay people were just like every other person, and how his mom treated them the same. So his influence from his mom told him that gay people were okay, which they are. And so he was completely okay with it. And so these 2 guys, I was like, okay, wow, these 2 guys accepted me for who I am, so I should tell more people. I started telling almost all my friends, anybody that I would just go into the band practice room, which is where you just practice. It's a soundproof room, so nobody can hear you on the outside. And of course I wasn't yelling these things, but I would go into practice room and tell people, I think you should know this, since I'm going to be living here for a while. I want to have a true friendship with you, so I'm going to tell you something. If you're not okay with it, then we can stop the friendship now, so we don't have to worry about it later. So of course people were like confused and thinking, did he kill someone? And so sometimes I wouldn't even say it. I would just text them in the practice room, kind of crazy. Text them and say I'm gay. But eventually I got enough strength to say the words, and nobody believed me. They said, you don't act gay and you don't seem gay. And our band director was gay and he didn't act gay or seem gay, but they were still trying to employ the stereotypes. So I just decided to keep on reinforcing my statement saying I'm gay. It's not a joke. Even when I texted it, people didn't believe me. They thought someone took my phone. I had to say it to their face. And all my friends took it well. I was extremely happy for that. But then I was getting suspicious that my mom was finding out things. And I was extremely afraid to tell my mom because she's extremely religious, as with the rest of my family. So one day my mom comes home and I haven't done any of my chores. So I have to act like I was doing my chores so I don't get grounded. So one of my chores includes walking the dogs. Dogs need to be walked out at 10. It was, I think, almost 11. So I ran downstairs, put the dogs on the leash, and acted like I was walking the dogs. My mom comes in and she says, "Did you walk the dogs?" I was like, "No, I'm doing it right now." And she's like, "Okay." So I go walk the dogs, and I left my computer open on Facebook, and a guy messaged me asking me if I was gay. And so I told him yes before I left to go walk the dogs, and I left my computer open. When I come back upstairs, put the dogs up, my Facebook message box is closed out. I remember that I didn't close it out, so I was just sitting in my room nervous. When is my mom going to say something? How is she going to react? Hopefully she'll be like how some parents react and be completely okay with it. But she calls me into her room and she says, "Brandon, why are you telling all these people that you're gay if I don't think that's true? I think you're just going through something, some phase, and you're telling friends instead of telling family." Almost every single video that I've ever seen of a coming out story, I've never heard of anybody tell their family first. Mainly because people want to see how friends will react, so they can get a little idea of how their family react. Of course, family sometimes act completely different than your friends, like in my situation. But it's still a good thing to see. Like, if everybody hates gays, then you know, sure, that you shouldn't tell your family. Maybe, I don't know. It might be different in your situation. But, so, she was mad about that, and so I thought that was the only thing she was mad about. But she was mad about the whole thing. She was saying that I was telling all these people that I'm gay, and she didn't believe it. So I think she thinks it's a phase still as of today, and that was probably about maybe 8 months, a year ago probably. She might still think it's a phase, she might not. Whenever we talk about it, she kind of like gets irritated and aggravated, so I don't really bring it up that much. But she didn't believe it at the time, and so she thought that I was like going around telling people a lie for some reason to make my life. I don't know what she was thinking, what was going through her head. But I keep on looking down because I have this like little notepad that says all the things that I have to say. Because my last video was 1 hour and 47 minutes long, and I was really tired of editing it, so I just decided to make a new one. Plus the camera angle was kind of off. I was like this, I believe. But so yeah, my mom wasn't okay with it. So that was that, and I was scared as hell, like if she was going to take me out of school, if she was going to try to put me in a like center where they're trying to change me from gay to straight, pray the gay away, whatever. So she wasn't cool with it, and I wasn't cool with her not being cool with it, so we stopped talking for a little while. I go to visit my dad on Christmas, and while we're driving in the car, me and him, just having like a father-son drive, he says, "You have something to tell me, don't you?" And I'm saying, "What are you talking about?" And he goes to explain how just because I'm living in a different state doesn't mean that I can lie to him and not tell him things that he deserves to know. And so I text my mom, I'm like, "Did you tell Dad?" And she says yes. And so I get extremely angry, and I say, I'm not texting you back. I'm not talking to you anymore, because you just invaded my privacy basically and told Dad without me ever having the experience to tell him. So usually the stories that I see on YouTube are coming out stories where usually the child gets to tell their parents, like they tell them to sit down and they tell their parent, and it might not be the best reaction, but your parents will usually react better if they hear it from your mouth in comparison to hearing it from somewhere else or finding out somehow else. So in my case, I was screwed over on my mom's side with her finding out on going on my Facebook, and my dad's side with my mom telling him. So he was extremely angry. I couldn't really say anything to him to make him see it in my perspective. He still thinks it's a choice. He brought a whole bunch of religious topics up, and we haven't talked since, I believe, since February. So it's been a while. Yeah, we haven't talked, and I'm not completely okay that we haven't talked, but he hasn't had any steps in apologizing, and I don't plan on apologizing for something that I am. The only way that I got this new computer that he bought, and but that was all kind of like on the fact that I was straight, because before I left Florida, which is where he lived, for visiting, he asked me what would I do if a girl liked me, and I said I don't know, and he got angry and said, incorrect answer, try again. What would you do if a girl likes you? And I said, I guess like her back. And after that his frown turned into a smile, and he was like, that's right. And so he only believes in a straight male, of course. Most parents only believe in a straight male, straight female, man, woman. But so yeah, I lied to him so he would be happy, and then I left. And since then we haven't talked. So those were the only two family members that knew at the time. Then my mom told my grandma. My grandma talked to me about it, and she was more okay with it. She's probably the most okay with it than the rest of my family. I mean, then my mom, sister, dad, and my grandma. So she was okay with it more, so I haven't really talked to her about it, but the ways that she was talking, more sympathetic like than aggravated, was showing me that she kind of cared more. Yeah, so my whole family doesn't know. It's just my sister, my dad, my mom, and my grandma. Me and my grandma still talk like normal. Me and my mom talk like normal every now and then, but whenever I bring it up, she gets aggravated. My sister's on my mom's side and believes that my sister told me that I was being influenced by something. She said that it's because I have low self-esteem, which I don't think I have low self-esteem, but she says it's probably my low self-esteem that's making me like things that aren't normal, I guess. And she's been cheerleading all her life, so I don't understand how she doesn't understand other gay people, because she's been around. She's had best friends that have been gay guys, and I guess they never talked about like how that happens, or the fact that you don't really choose if you're gay or not. So when I told her that it's not really a choice, she said LOL okay, and this is while we were texting, because she's in college now, so I don't really like calling her. So that's my sister. My grandma, we talk normal. My dad, we don't talk at all. So my family, most of my family is not really okay with that at all, because we're an extremely religious family, come straight from the Bible, and there's nothing else really to say about that. So my friends, every single one of the friends that I've told, over 200 friends, completely okay with it. I was surprised out of all the places Texas would be okay with it, but completely okay with it. Now I moved back to Georgia. I'm gonna be spending my last 2 years of high school here, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I plan on coming out. I'm not gonna do some like Broadway like spectacle about me coming out. I'm just gonna tell my close friends that I used to know, because I actually do know people down here. Tell my friends that I used to know, and some people that I'm gonna meet, because apparently some people change for the worse down here after middle school, because there's a dividing line, middle school and then high school, and people tend to switch completely. They used to be the nice girl who would never think about partying, to always focusing in school, to the slightly focusing in school, partying every day, drinking, drugs, whatever. So I have to kind of make a new group of friends. But the friends that I've told down here so far have been okay with it. One was asking me why I was gay, and I was telling him it's not really a choice, and he didn't believe it. Another one was kind of the same way. So overall in Texas, everyone was okay with in Texas from them telling me. That's what I think. And everybody and a couple people in Georgia weren't okay with it. So I guess it's just how people are, how they were brought up. I'm okay with it. I'm not going to be friends with everybody in the world. But my story is not really necessarily one of those great coming out stories where I got to tell my family, and it's one of those like super enjoyable moments that like are super sentimental, because my mom found out over Facebook and my dad found out over my mom. So I never had that sit down moment with my parents saying, Mom and Dad, I'm gay and I want you to support me. I got that, oh crap, she just found out, now I have to defend myself. Oh crap, he just found out, now I have to defend myself. So I'm not saying that during all these moments I never cried, because I cried several times. I cried when me and my mom talked. I kind of cried when my dad was there, but I didn't want to show him that I was crying. So when we got to the house, when we were driving, I kind of like hid the tears. I cried with some friends, got some help with some friends. It was a nice roller coaster, I guess, of emotions that I got. If you plan on coming out, take your time and do it. Coming out is probably the best release of bottled up emotions that you can do as a closeted gay lesbian person. Not everybody will accept you for who you are, but the people who do, you know that they're your really good friends. Those people, it shows you that it didn't matter how your sexuality was. Because if you lost a person as a friend because you were gay, or because you were lesbian, or transgender, or whatever, then they're not really your friend. They just see you in one way. They see you as their straight friend that's really cool. They need to see you as just their friend that's really cool, instead of the whole straight part. Yes, straight, gay, lesbian, transgender, bisexual are parts of you, but they don't define who you are. They are just, I guess, another adjective that you can throw onto someone. I'm black, but if a person didn't like me because I'm black, then why would I try to be their friend? It's kind of the same thing. I was born this way. You were born gay, lesbian, bi, straight, transgender, whatever. So was I. So you can't. I don't prefer to have friends who won't accept me for who I am. So if you don't think that your friends are gonna act okay with it, then maybe don't tell them. Maybe you should wait until after high school or after middle school. But you want to have good friendships early, so you're used to having a good friendship with someone who's okay with you. If for family wise, that's all personal time. So same with telling your friends, but my situation was left my Facebook open. Your situation could be you told a friend and your friend told your mom, or your friend told his mom or her mom and she told your mom or your dad. Either way, you want to do it on your time, and you want to make sure they hear your words and not just blank out after you tell them. You want to make sure that you want them to know that you're still the same person, that your sexuality doesn't change anything, just happen to like guys, or you happen to like other girls if you're a girl, or you happen to like both. It's just, you can't let them really change who you are, because you can't change your sexuality, your skin color, the shape of your eyes, like stuff that you're born with. So that's my little inspirational message to other people that plan on coming out. I plan on coming out when school starts, and that's gonna start in a week, so I'm gonna post a video to tell everyone how that was. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave subscribe to me, comments, rate it, like it, dislike it if you don't like it. I know I'm going to get some of those like "I hate you gay person" or whatever messages at the bottom, and if you make your coming out video, you'll probably get the same ones. Those are just people who go on YouTube and they love making hate messages so they can make other people feel bad so they can feel better. It's just bullying. So don't really worry about it. They're over YouTube, so nothing's really gonna, it's not like they're gonna do anything physically to you. And even if they make physical threats, like, really? So look forward to me making more videos, and that's my coming out story. Please post responses, and thank you. Bye.